What up? What up? What up, world? We are back. I'm Anthony. This is Get Right Fantasy Network, and we're here, man. Buy, sell, trade show today. So we're gonna take your questions, talk about trade targets, who we're buying, who we're selling, and we'll have some fun, man. So, as you can see, I'm solo tonight. Dustin and Frank might be able to join me here soon, but if not, it's just me for tonight. And we'll definitely get into your questions. So let those, fly there. And again, drop your questions in there, and we'll have a good show. So, week 7, week of the bye-nado, the bipocalypse, as we all know. We have 6 teams on a bye this week. Normally it's only 4, sometimes only 2, but this is definitely that week. So, of all the times, there's been a lot of movement. So, I expect this to be a pretty interesting show. It does suck that it is just me here tonight, but we'll definitely get through it. For those, I'm sure we all know by now, but we have Buffalo, Dallas, Jacksonville, the Chargers, Minnesota, and Pittsburgh on a bye this week. And so we'll definitely get into that. What up? What up, Jonathan? Saying thanks for help on Sleeper. So for those of you who don't know, good time to plug it. Hit the description. Look down in there. At the very bottom, you'll see the invite to our private Sleeper channel. Basically, it's the Get Right Sleeper channel where you can ask your questions, upload your full rosters. All of us in the community will get in, let you know kind of what we're thinking. If you just kind of want that second, third, 100th opinion, there's definitely a lot of those to go around here in the Get Right community. Everybody helps out. Big shout out to the ambassadors there. And for those of you guys who don't know, make sure you check out our website, getrightff.com. We have our weekly rankings up there. So if you want to know kind of how we're feeling individually on certain players, definitely check out the rankings. I usually try to get mine updated by Wednesdays, is when I'll usually get my list updated. And of course, from Wednesday on, I'll kind of keep it up to date as we go. Myself and Mike and Frank will have those there. So shameless plug time. For those of you guys out there, as you know, our sponsor, underdogfantasy.com. Check it out, man. Underdogfantasy.com. Use that promo code Get Right. What up, Dustin? Use that promo code Get Right. Make a $10 deposit, and you will get $10 added to your account. So they do a lot of. Obviously, they're known for best ball, but they have their DFS platform, pick'ems, over under bets. They do rivalries, a bunch of cool stuff that they're constantly doing. Not only for NFL, but of course they're doing the NBA, which is getting started now as well. So it's a lot of fun, man. Check them out. Underdogfantasy.com. Promo code Get Right. All right. So without any further ado, as we like to do here on our shows, we have our Magoat's interesting fact of the day. So this was a pretty cool question that he brought up the other day, or a fact, I guess you would say. In 7 of 8 Broncos Super Bowl appearances, the Broncos started a QB drafted by the Colts. So believe it or not, so 7 of 8 Super Bowl appearances, the Broncos started a QB drafted by the Colts. So it was pretty interesting when he actually put that out there. We had a shout out to Calbeck. He asked who started the 8th game, which is, I'm pretty sure, what we are all wondering. Definitely got me interested in that. I had to go look it up immediately. I obviously did not know. So I looked it up, and it's actually Craig Morton in Super Bowl 7 in 1978. He was drafted by your Dallas Cowboys, not but Dustin's and Frank's and them boys and all those guys. So the only other quarterback besides one drafted by the Colts, it was one drafted by the Cowboys that made it to the Super Bowl. So pretty interesting fact. Really appreciate that, Magoats. Again, he contributes these to us. Kind of gets our morning going with it. I love waking up to one of the interesting facts of the day. And who knows, man? One of us might be on like Millionaire or some kind of TV show one day, and they might ask one of these random questions that from Magoat's interesting fact of the day. And if you do, make sure you cut my guy a little piece of that if he helps you out, man. So, but no, we all appreciate it. Of course, Magoats is one of our ambassadors there. And again, go to getrightff.com. You can see the about us. There's an ambassador tab there. Take a look. You'll see our ambassadors that are part of the channel. They have their picture up there, their Twitter handles. If you want to get a hold of them individually, they'll have their sleeper handles if you don't know them already. And again, it's just part of the community. If you want to be an ambassador, let me know. Send us an email with your contact info, a photo, and we'll definitely get it up on our website and help you with your social media and just help connect you here in the fantasy world. So, just getting caught up here on some of the chat. Shout out to Drew. What's up, Drew? What's good? Dustin was saying golf too in regards to the Underdog fantasy. Let me switch the brand back up there. Then we had Drew said Knicks -2 won him money tonight. So congratulations, Drew. Always like hearing when someone from the Get Right community puts a little extra change in their pocket. So that's always nice, man. Congratulations there. Always feels good when you're making money in sports. Jonathan Smith said, my bad, bye week isn't until week 10. So he's fine for now. So he was asking a question earlier. So I think he was just responding to that. He was also saying, wow, that's interesting in regards to Magoat's interesting facts. So definitely like that. J Media Sighting, what's up, man? Saying what's up to me and Dustin. Dustin's holding it down in the chat for me. So if I don't get to your question or I miss it, Dustin will definitely give you his 2 cents in there. We're definitely not short of giving you our opinion, as you guys know by now. Jonathan saying it should have been Kyle Orton. Yeah, that would have been funny. It was obviously John Elway and Peyton Manning are the only 2 Broncos. They account for 7 of the 8 appearances there. Mostly John Elway, of course. So Dim Boys is saying, what's up back? Jonathan said, should I still have Seals Jones as my starting tight end for this week since he might be banged up? You'll have to remind me, dude. I answered so many questions today about different things. So just reminding me what your question was, and I'll definitely have it out here for you on the air. And who knows, maybe I change my mind. But again, just let me know again. We have Drew in here with our first question of the night. Pick 2 for full PPR. AB Lockett and Jacoby Myers. I'm probably going AB for sure. Let me take a look at the matchups for Lockett and Myers. I don't own any of those guys. Okay, so you have Jacoby. Oh, yeah, go Jacoby against the Jets. Maybe he actually scores this week. So maybe they make a concerted effort to get him the ball in the end zone. It was terrible last week when he scored the touchdown, gets called back for a holding call. They score, I think, on the next play or two, and then they hit him for the 2-point conversion. So he scored a 2-point conversion. He's thrown touchdowns, but does not have a receiving touchdown still yet in his NFL career. So AB and Myers for me. Anybody else out there that wants to give their 2 cents on that in the community, let me know. And so we'll get into that. Got a Haas sighting. What's up, Haas? What's up? What's up? In the house. Thanks for joining us tonight. I hope you're having a good night or morning or wherever you're from. Thanks for joining us. Jonathan Smith says here, he was saying I had picked him up on waivers since Schultz is out, but I saw he missed practice today. So should I look at someone else or should he be fine? Yeah, I mean, those guys are probably still going to be available in the next couple days. That's why I usually don't like getting into start sit questions really until Friday once we have that final Friday injury report. So that's of course when Mike and I go for 3.5 hours answering those questions then, because we can go into detail. Right now it's kind of just hearsay, because again, if he ends up being fine after Wednesday, which a lot of vets and people that are banged up usually get Wednesday off. So I usually don't really start diving into that start sit there, but definitely know what you want to do in case he does sit. So kind of have 1 or 2 options just in case somebody else picks someone up this week, with all the bye weeks. I definitely wouldn't drop Schultz at this point. So, I would hold Seals Jones if you can. he should be a good play. Against Green Bay, they'll be throwing from behind. So we have and so good luck with that. And come back on Friday, and of course we'll break it down for you more. Dustin is saying Myers getting 2 TDs this week. So I obviously won our gentleman's bet last week um, for the Myers TD. Um, and if I think he scores this week as well too, though. So I don't think I'll take a gentleman's bet this week. I think he finally gets off the schneid here this week. So with that said, buy sell trade show. So that's what we're doing here. We're talking roster management, getting our trades right. We're gonna find out kind of these moves we're trying to make. Obviously, we're halfway in to the fantasy season at week 7 of 14 regular season games, most likely, and then we hit the playoffs. If you're lucky enough to make it there, you'll have 3 extra games after that. So you want to finish the second half strong. Now's the time where you've given it a half a fantasy year. If people aren't, kind of breaking out, this is the time where, you kind of want to make some changes if you need to. You know, Again, and we'll kind of get into all that stuff here. Guys are, kind of droppable at this point. There's guys you can swap out, and maybe guys you can target. Obviously, with a lot of running back injuries that are going on, those to me are the best trade targets you can get. I know there's a lot of people out there that don't like actually trading for injured players, but to me, that's the only way you can actually get some value out of players is trading, when they're hurt. Obviously, it is a risk, definite risk when you're doing that. But to me, it's you're trying to win. I mean, to me, if you're not first, you're last. It really doesn't matter. I'm sure, other leagues, pay out different places and things like that. But especially if you're playing for pride, a belt, a trophy, your name on the plaque. To me, I'm trying to get that lineup right, get myself into the playoffs, of course, and then try to have, the best matchups that I can, heading into your fantasy playoffs. So there's definitely some schedules I, want to get into here um, for specific teams and players that you should be looking out for. Kind of give you an insight on some of the, guys that I'm kind of looking at that I like having on my bench, or maybe I'm targeting as starters. So we'll definitely get into that here a little bit. So chat's getting a little crazy here. Obviously, we're picking up now. So let's see. We have Jonathan here saying Michael Carter or Zach Moss rest of season. I'll just take Zach Moss just because he is in a more high powered offense at this point. He's a low end RB2, high end RB3. That's kind of where I kind of view him. Um, Carter, I probably have again just a little bit lower than him as far as rest of season goes. I think there's definitely some upside there, but just the Jets, need work all around. We might be just a year too early, in redraft for Michael Carter. But again, if you need a guy to plug in on a bye week or something like that, he's not a bad guy to have on your bench, especially with all the injuries and things going on. And then obviously rookies, do get better as the year goes on, learning more pass protection, things like that, which will allow them to be on the field more. Um, so again, but as of right now, I would take Zach Moss rest of the season. Um, Haas here says Ayuk, does he have a breakout this week? It could be. Hopefully, it looks like Trey Lance is still going to be out with that knee injury. I believe Shanahan said today that he's going to need at least another week. Things are trending towards Garoppolo getting the start this week. If he does get the start, then I like Ayuk a little more. I think he might be startable. Just understand, what the potential floor could be. We've seen the floor with the 0 point performance, with him healthy and, out on the field, taking almost a full complement of snaps. Obviously, we'd like to see him get into the end zone. But, Debo's been, breaking out over there this year. One of the better value picks that we've had in the draft so far. Um, but, it's definitely coming. I don't know about a breakout. At this point, we're kinda hoping he just kinda returns some value at this point, or, you find some value if someone dropped him and you're picking him up off the waivers. So, he's definitely a guy, again, if you didn't invest draft capital in him, if you see him out on the wire, I would definitely go ahead and grab him. If you can buy him super low, go ahead and do it. But again, it's just kind of a hold and a wait and see, thing. I wouldn't just be, in a rush to throw him into my lineups. But again, with all the bye weeks, if you're forced to, he's definitely not a bad option this week. Had to take a little extra time for my Niners there. So we have Al Davis. What's up, man? Welcome, Al Davis. Says, should I start Hollywood over Boyd? Um, yes, absolutely. Now with Higgins back, he's kind of reclaimed that role over there. He was the number one, but pretty much now it looks like Chase has taken that over at this point. He's definitely the more, high powered boom, type guy, big play. But again, it does come with, potential, risk. Right now, you could say he has some crazy touchdown upside. I think he has, 5 touchdowns in 6 games. And over 500 yards receiving, which I think I heard earlier, which was only done one other time by Randy Moss. So that's kind of the projection he has going on right now. If you can get your hands on Chase before who the Chase owner knows, who they have, I would definitely try to do it. But Chase is definitely, taking over there. Higgins is still going to definitely get his. He still is seeing a good share of targets, but it's definitely going to take away from Boyd now. He won't be relevant unless one of these guys get hurt. He'll have a week here or there, but as far as consistency, it's going to be hard to predict. But I do like him. I like all three of those guys. I think I mentioned it before. They're kind of like the poor man's Dallas Cowboys with their wide receiving core there. Tristan, what's up, Tristan? I don't know if I've seen you here before. I apologize if I don't recognize the name. But welcome to Get Right Fantasy. Hopefully you can help us out here with a subscribe. We're trying to hit that 300 mark now. We just passed 200. We're trying to go onwards and upwards. So again, welcome. And if you are returning, thanks for coming back and supporting the channel. You said thoughts on Saquon. In my 2 main home leagues, I drafted him in one league and just traded for him in another. I personally, like him at this point just because he is a buy low candidate, as I was talking about earlier. You have the opportunity to get, a workhorse running back. There's only, 5, 6 of these guys who pretty much are getting all the touches from the back, running back position. They're getting the targets. They're getting pretty much all the carries, 15 plus carries potential weekly. And those are the kind of guys I want. Yeah, he's hurt, he's banged up, he has injury history. But again, I didn't draft him. So if I can go out and trade for him, again, as long as you're not breaking up your core, if he's on someone's team that, needs a win right now and you have pieces that can help them out, it could be a time to, check it out. There's definitely a risk associated with it, as I said. But again, if I can get one of these top 5 or 6 guys that are, true workhorses for their team, kind of regardless of their quarterback position or, quarterback, regardless of kind of their offensive line, if they're one of the guys, tailored in that offense, then I definitely want a piece of them. I think it'll be nice once they get Sterling Shepard back and they get Kadarius Toney back or Tony. And I think that'll actually open up Saquon a little more. Once they have that threat, they'll get that 8th guy out of the box, and he can have a big, second half. At least that's what I'm banking on. So he's definitely someone I have as a trade target, along with, of course, Montgomery. If you want to say Gibson, possibly just because of that ending schedule, but several guys that, of course, CMC, guys like that I like to kind of go after. That you can get, good value on. So hope that helped you out, Tristan. Again, if you can, hit that subscribe button for us, man. We appreciate it. Al Davis says Chase is killing Boyd. Completely agree. Jonathan Smith says, should I hold on to Lockett till Wilson comes back or look to trade him? I think I'm going to have to look up his stats more with Gino here from last week. Let me take a look. See where his targets were. I personally don't have any shares of Lockett right now, but he's definitely worth a hold. I wouldn't just kind of give him away at this point. But he did have 7 targets at least last game, it looked like, against Pittsburgh. He only had 2 catches for the 35 yards. Only put up, 3.5 fantasy points or 5.5 in PPR. He did come off 10 targets from the game before. I don't know exactly how many of those came from Gino. But it definitely looks like they're still, involving him in the offense. It's just obviously he's not going to be as accurate as Russell Wilson throwing the ball. And we all know Tyler Lockett made his splash with those long, deep passes. We know Russell Wilson is one of the best deep ball passers in the game right now. So his upside is definitely limited, but it could, come back. If you can get a piece right now, I definitely would explore options for him, but I wouldn't give him away. So good luck. Good luck for that. Jonathan Smith is saying the Eagles' schedule. Eagles' schedule is very nice. A lot of the NFC, what NFC East has, pretty good schedule. So Philly definitely has a nice schedule, and a perfect segue here for me to get into a couple of these guys. Maybe Miles Sanders is someone you can look after. Obviously they just got done playing the Bucks, but they do have the Raiders coming up. Then they have Detroit, then the Chargers, who are terrible at running defense. Broncos are okay. Saints are good, obviously, but then they get the Giants, the Jets, a bye week, and then they get Washington, the Giants, and then Washington again. So playoff schedule is Washington, New York, Washington. So that Miles Sanders, Devontae Smith, those are guys you can definitely trade for now. And of course, Hurts, who I've been going back and forth with Mike on. I'm sure he would be happy that I said that there. So definitely keep an eye on your Eagles guys. If anybody in your leagues are kind of down on them so far, if you can get some good value there, those are definitely guys I'm looking to target. Not so much Jalen Rager, but give me Smith and Sanders and Hurts. Drew says I traded Khalil Herbert and Emmanuel Sanders for Antonio Gibson, Chase Claypool, and Tyler Higbee. Did I fleece in half PPR? Um, Absolutely. I mean, again, there's question marks with that, but you know, I like it. Obviously, with Juju gone, Chase Claypool's the number two there. Antonio Gibson, the best thing that can happen is they just shut him down for a few weeks, and he can come back healthy for the back end of the year. And obviously, you traded a waiver wire pickup, and Sanders was probably a waiver wire pickup for you at the beginning of the year because he was hurt during draft time, so he kind of fell, out, or maybe didn't even get drafted in shallower redraft leagues. So I definitely like this trade, man. And you got a tight end out of it as well. Very nice trade. Well done. I like those trades. I got Hurts. He's gonna kill in my playoffs. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely agree there. He should just have a good second half of the season. So, Amar here says, I don't know what that was for, but let me know. And welcome, Amar Sadu. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button for us. We'd really appreciate that. Should I trade Hopkins for Diggs? Tough question there. Obviously, we have Ertz joining there. We've talked about it in other shows on um, how the targets are being spread out in that offense between Christian Kirk, Rondell Moore, of course Hopkins, Adrian Green is doing pretty well, and then now they're adding Ertz in there as well. Plus Chase Edmonds is getting targets out of the backfield. That's just a lot. It could be sustainable because they don't really have a running game. Obviously, they have Connor and Edmonds just kind of mixing things up, change of pace, and then obviously Kyler's a running threat on any pass play. He's a potential running threat. So they can kind of get those passes done. They can roll them out and do those type of things. We've seen what Hopkins' floor is. He's going to have those games where he's by far the best receiver and is going to get open, and Kyler Murray can read that and get to him. So I like Hopkins, man. Obviously, I had Diggs rated higher heading into the season. That connection just hasn't been there so much with the growth of Josh Allen being able to spread the ball around. Obviously, Manny Sanders being, a thing over there as well. So again, all the targets aren't being concentrated to these two guys. I consider them pretty much still on the same tier. So for me, it just kind of comes down to matchups and weather and personal preference at that point. So if we look at Hopkins' schedule, I always start with the playoffs. He gets Detroit, the Colts, and then Dallas. He's at the Lions, at Dallas, and then they play home on Christmas Day against the Colts. So I really like that. because he's playing in a controlled environment. It should be conducive for throwing. So I'm kind of leaning more towards the Hopkins side just because knowing Diggs plays outdoors and on the East Coast, I don't think it'll be favorable. So yeah, so you have Diggs playing New England. I'm sorry, you have him playing Carolina at home. Then they're playing New England, and then they're playing or at New England December 26th, and then they come back and play the Falcons on January 2nd at home in Buffalo. So I can't imagine the weather's going to be good for two out of your three playoffs games, and then your championship game. Granted, it's against Atlanta, but if there's nasty weather out there, January 2nd, in Buffalo, New York, we've seen the snow there. Again, people can have big games, but I like a little more controlled environment. Um, I would lean Hopkins after looking into that. So I know that was a lot to get into, but Amar, I'd stick with Hopkins. And then he says, and Shepard or Higgins this week. Ooh, that's tough. I have both of these guys this week. We have Cincinnati going against Baltimore, and then we have the Giants going against the Panthers. Ooh, I think it'll probably be more of a shootout in the Cincinnati game. So I'd go Higgins if it's PPR. I might go Shepard just because he had 14 targets last week. I think I'm going to change my mind and go Shepard if it's full PPR. And if it's, half or non, I might go Higgins. I see him scoring a touchdown this week against Baltimore. It's going to be a high flying offense. Both two high powered offenses potentially there. Could be some big plays. I'll go Higgins there. Shepard in full PPR. Dustin saying, "What's up? What's up?" Doing our cordial things here. Sorry guys, a little late on the chats here, getting thought caught up. Haas says thoughts on Higgins against the Ravens. I kind of was just saying it there. I think it's going to be a shootout. I think he'll get his. Obviously, the biggest issue with that is not so much the matchup. It's Jamar Chase. If he gets big touchdowns, things like that, it just takes away opportunities. For Higgins. If he does make one of those big scoring plays, and again, um, I still think he's going to see, between 6 to 8 targets at least easily in this game. So we'll just kind of see what type of targets he's getting. It's usually the across the middle. So if he can break those, get some yard after the catch, I see it being a nice day for him. Let's see. So Al Davis says, so what are we doing with Kyle Pitts? Hold on to him. Hoping he starts to score more or try to trade him for a good wide receiver or running back. So for Kyle Pitts, personally, I mean, we've seen his potential when there's no other wide receivers there, no Ridley, no, Russell Gage. They were splitting Cordell Patterson and Kyle Pitts out wide, using them as wide receivers. The last we saw them on the field, they are going to be getting Ridley back this week. It looks like he's back off that personal issue. Looks like Russell Gage is practicing as well, so he'll be back. So again, those are just targets that are, not going to be there for Kyle Pitts right now. I would, definitely kind of hold him. He has some potential there, in a redraft league. But to me, if you can get a consistent wide receiver, um, definitely if you can trade him for a running back, that's worth it. I would. But if not, I definitely would hold on to him. He's someone that, Atlanta's usually going to be playing from behind. They're going to be throwing it. He's going to know and learn more and more, every week. They're just coming off their bye week, so definitely see what he can do. If anything, I'd just let him play again because there's a lot of recency bias that happens. So let him play if he has a big game. If you get offers or want to shop him out and see what you can get to help fill out your team, then go ahead and do it. But I'm sure you drafted Pitts probably with one of your first 4 or 5 picks. It's kind of hard to find that value, now. But if you can package them and get one of these, hurt running backs or something like that, I would definitely explore it. So good luck to you. And, as you start exploring that, hit us up. Make sure you're part of the Get Right community. And as you're getting offers and stuff, let us know, and we'll all pitch in and let you know what we think. So appreciate it. Keep the questions coming out. Um, Jonathan here says, to add on to that, should I look into trading Lamar since I have Hurts to strengthen the rest of my team? You definitely can. Again, if you can get somebody in a one, obviously it's a one QB league. If you want to trade up, and try to get somebody, that's hurting at quarterback right now, shop it. I'm always open to shopping it. I don't know exactly who I would possibly, target specifically, because trading quarterbacks is very tricky. You're never really going to get the value, that you want for them, unless another quarterback you're getting in return. So you're pretty much going to kind of give up a lot of points, so to speak. It's not going to look even, but those of us that play, understand that a quarterback can definitely be worth a running back, just depending on what tier it is. Oh, looks like I froze on you guys here, so give me a second. Try to get this back here. Hold on a moment. I don't know why this is happening. We do this every night. All right. So I think we're back in action here. I guess because I'm by myself, it wanted a timeout on me there. But yeah, so just getting back into that, Jonathan. Yeah, I would explore it. Let me know. I obviously want to see the rest of your team, and stuff like that. We can, definitely game plan and find out, someone that you could potentially target to help, strengthen your team. Um, so yeah, so we have Drew here saying Tua or Matt Ryan for this week. I was just doing my rankings on that, kind of just looking them over here before we got on, and I believe I have Tua ahead. Oh, absolutely. So I have Tua this week crazily at 12, just because we have so many quarterbacks out, and I have Matt Ryan. I pushed him all the way down to 17. Drew, I know you're a little newer to the channel here. Just take that with a grain of salt. Everybody here that has been with us for a while knows that I am not the biggest Matt Ryan fan, to say the least. So there's probably a lot of unwanted, non-analyst issues that are going on with that decision. But again, Tua's coming off, I believe, a 300-yard game. Is obviously, two touchdowns to Waddle. That connection's looking great. Gesicki's playing well, possibly getting Devontae Parker back this week. Fuller looks like he's still out. I like his weapons. If they learn how to use Gaskins, if they can put together any type of running game in that offense, Tua has a good chance to have a good second half here. I would definitely hold on to Tua. I would definitely start him this week over Matt Ryan. And he's definitely a guy I'm looking to hold, for the second half of the season here. Same thing. If you can go get your hands on Waddle now that Tua's back, go get him. We've seen what that potential. And again, keep in mind, they did play together already, so they have that chemistry already. It's just kind of like riding a bike. So that's that. All right. So let's see here. Anthem Man, welcome back, man. Good to see you. Says, should I be looking to sell D Hop or just keep him? We kind of talked about that a little bit earlier. So I won't go into as much detail here, but I definitely like D Hop at this point. One of the biggest factors was the schedule that he has at the end of the year. So his playoff schedule, week 15, is at Detroit Lions, playing in a dome against the Lions. Week 16, he's playing at home in their nice Arizona, dry desert dome that they have, against the Indianapolis Colts. Good defense, but again, Arizona is a nice high powered offense. They shouldn't have, any problems there. If anything, you just have to worry about game script in those games. But again, they don't really have a running game. And then they get at Dallas Cowboys for your championship. And that's going to be high powered, Dak versus Kyler Murray. Who knows? I know Dustin and Frank would get excited if I said this, but we might have determining the MVP between Dak and Kyler at that point, depending on how their second halves of the season go, and that could be a game we're all circling in week 17 to see what happens there. That's probably the nicest thing I'm going to say about the Cowboys for a while. So you're welcome. Dustin knows. Yeah, Ant loves Matt Ryan. Yeah, That's a sarcastic love there. Uh, and Dustin's chiming in saying keep D Hop unless you can get a top running back, and pretty much agree. If you can get a top running back, definitely do that. Obviously, get yourself a wide receiver in return in that package. If you can, if you want to do it straight up, I'm usually not a fan for it. But if I am doing it, I want to get that running back side if I can. So, good question. Obviously, a lot of D Hop questions, but I'm definitely a big hold and start on D Hop. Um, he's not going to be as consistent as he was last year, but when he goes off, he can win you a week. So keep your hands on him. Let's see. Zondo 1221. Welcome, man. Hopefully I didn't take too long to get your question here. Welcome to Get Right Fantasy Network. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button for us. Get in that description, scroll down, you'll see our Get Right Fantasy Sleeper channel. Come join us there. Great community we have going on. You can post pictures of your lineups, things like that, and we'll definitely help break down your teams and get into a lot of stuff with you there. So, with that said, he has a question here: 14 team PPR. Running backs are Saquon, Najee, Cordell, and his wide receivers are DJ Moore, Cup, AB, and Visca. I recently traded Devonta Smith for Javonte. I assume that's Javonte Williams. Your thoughts on that? I think it was a great trade. Javonte Williams is perfect. You guys are taking me right through my show notes here. Javonte Williams is definitely a guy I'm targeting. He's another guy I have in both of my home leagues. I traded for him in one, drafted him in another. Again, one of the main reasons I do like his schedule. Obviously, if he gets hurt, he's going to get the full workload there. Or if Gordon gets hurt, he'll get the full workload. But if he doesn't, he's still getting a good amount of touches now as a low end RB2. Bye week filler. You can plug him in now. I feel comfortable doing that. But again, the biggest reason I like Javonte Williams right now is this Denver Broncos schedule. They play at Las Vegas Raiders, or I'm sorry, they play at home against the Cincinnati Bengals. Um, Again, that might be tough, Denver, December 19th, but that's not too bad. And again, should be a nice, shootout there, or they can hold him down, if he's getting that work. Then they're playing at the Las Vegas Raiders in Vegas in a dome, and then they're playing at Los Angeles Chargers in a dome on the West Coast. So I love that for a running back in my fantasy playoffs. Even if he's just your RB3, he's definitely a piece I want to have on my team heading into the playoffs. Should anything happen past the trade deadline or anything like that in your leagues, he would be a guy that I would feel comfortable, going to, at least with what we know right now. So he's definitely a guy I'm looking to have there. Love Javonte Williams for the second half. So Rendon Dye's back. What's up? Welcome back. Says drop Mooney for the Eagles tight end. So if you're dropping him for Goddard, I absolutely would do that. Now that they traded off Ertz, I think Goddard has top 6, top 8, potential to finish out the year. So really like Goddard now that Ertz is gone. That throwing offense does go through the tight end there. So I would drop Mooney for that. Again, we still have to see more progression with Fields. Obviously, Mooney caught that touchdown this last week, which was nice to see. Saved a lot of people's weeks if you did start him. But definitely a hold right now. If you need a tight end, go get Goddard. He's one of those set it and forget it type guys until we move forward. So we have a Neanderthal sighting. What's up, Jerry? He says Wentz, Jimmy G, Danny Dimes, or Tyler Heineke. He's hurting this week. I believe he has a Herbert, and then had Wilson go down on him. So he was set up nice, had the 2 QBs in a 1 QB league, and this is what happens sometimes. So he has Herbert on a bye, has Wilson on IR, and he needs to choose one, or does he take a chance with Case Keenum? And he's saying, what the heck? So, yeah, man, it's rough out there during this bye-nado. I feel you on that one. Personally, out of these guys, for me, it comes down, between Wentz and Danny Dimes, just because of Danny Dimes rushing upside. You can have that potential there. But out of these guys, I'm pretty much going to go Wentz, especially with T.Y. Hilton back. I think he has, an opportunity to put up, good numbers this week. Let me just double check the matchup. Yeah, they're going against the Niners. Oh, maybe not. That's a little, man, Jerry. Why are you going to ask me that? That's tough now because I don't think anybody's going to do great against my Niners defense. But you know, we've seen them get burned a little bit here before. Let me take a look more at this Danny Dimes matchup and see what we think there. Going against Carolina. Whew, man, that's tough, dude. Yeah, I see what you mean now. You know, talent wise, I kind of like Wentz the best. If he does have a good day, he can get you a nice score. You know, Jimmy, I don't think he has that potential upside that you need. Danny Dimes can just turn into Danny Dimes or, who knows, turn back into Daniel Jones at a moment's notice. And Heineke's not on my radar this week either. And then I'm definitely not taking a flyer against with Case Keenum against this Cleveland defense against the Denver defense on a short week. To me, it's between Wentz, man, and Danny Dimes. Get back to me on Friday, and I'll give you my final answer there. Let me think about that. I'll get back to you. Let me think on that a little more, Jerry. That's a tough one, dude. All in one show. What's up, man? Welcome back. Says, what's up, bro? Patrick or Mooney at the flex. I was just kind of talking about it with Mooney. I think anyone that started him last week lucked out. I like Patrick here one more week, especially if Judy doesn't play. It doesn't look like he's playing tomorrow, unless it's a miracle start that I'm unaware of. But it looks like he's still out one more week. Tim Patrick should still eat over there. Um, I'd go with Patrick. Let me just check my rankings and make sure it says the same there. You always gotta double check that every once in a while. Um, Let me see. So I have Mooney. Yeah, I have Tim Patrick. Oh, interesting. I actually have it the other way around. I have Mooney at 28, Tim Patrick at 30. I don't know. I think I just talked myself into changing that. So I'm going to put Patrick at 28 and Darnell Mooney at 29 and move Corey Davis down against the Patriots. I'm going to move him down to 30. So Tim Patrick. I stand by what my gut instinct there. So we have Miles. What's up, Miles? Do I drop OBJ for Devonta Smith? I would try to maybe trade OBJ first to see if you can get anything. Maybe drop your kicker or defense and grab Devonta Smith. Definitely grab it. Definitely grab Devonta Smith. Maybe you have somebody else you can trade or drop for him. I would drop a kicker or a defense. This is a strategy that I like to do. Especially this early in the week. Just drop one of your defenses or kickers. If it's Justin Tucker or something, yeah, that's going to be tough. Go to your defense if you can. They're kind of a dime a dozen. To get that type of a player, again, depends on the league, how active it is, things like that. But I definitely like the potential for Devonta Smith here in his schedule at the back half, especially with Baker being hurt. Who knows how much time he's actually going to miss? So, I mean, really, if you don't have anyone else to drop, I think OBJ is droppable as of right now. You may have to go pick him up again later, but definitely for this week, you can drop him. Playing on Thursday with Case Keenum, just, yeah, get Devonta Smith if you can, and then come back and watch the show. Sorry that I was late getting to your question. Hopefully he's still there. All right, Drew. I have Kamara, Mixon, and Hendo for running backs. Is it worth trading Mixon or Hendo to get an elite wide receiver? My other wide receivers are CD, Lockett, AB, and Jacoby. I think even if you're starting 3 wide receivers here, I think you're fine. I wouldn't trade off the running back depth yet. We're only halfway through the season, and we've seen more than like half of the running backs go down with injuries at this point. I wouldn't quite yet, but as you get closer to the trade deadline, this is what you're trying to do. You start to put all your eggs in one basket and make that final run. We'll definitely get into that as we get closer to trade deadlines. But I think it's a little too early to do that now. Again, especially with all the injuries, let alone COVID, things like that. Which, knock on wood, we've been kind of lucky, for so far. Um, not too many guys going on IR, kind of like it was last year, or on the COVID, exempt list. So I definitely would hold on to those running backs right now. If we can get a running back and a receiver, then explore that. But I definitely wouldn't be giving up my running back depth in week 7, heading into the bye-nado. That's just me, Drew. So we have Miles here saying start OBJ or Sutton. Definitely going Sutton here. Uh, I hear rumblings. Again, I have to double check. I was coaching my son's baseball game here today, but I started to hear that there's potential rumblings that it might be Lock. I heard Teddy Bridgewater hurt his ankle, had some trouble, going up to the podium and things. I'm sure we all saw that. Um, Obviously, coming on a short week here, so we're just gonna have to pay attention to that news tomorrow as we get those final injury reports. If it is Teddy Bridgewater, you know what? Even if it's Drew Lock, man, with no Jerry Judy, with Baker Mayfield being down, against OBJ, give me Sutton. I'll take Sutton. It could backfire, but I'll take Sutton. Ant the Man, yeah, because I've been receiving terrible trades for D Hop, but I understand in a lot of games they lead for a while, so he doesn't get as many targets, and people in my league are starting to try to buy low. Yeah, he's definitely a buy low candidate. Again, as owners of some of these underperforming stars, expect to get these trade offers. Your league should be sending you offers, for guys like that when they're underperforming, as you should be trying to buy people like David Montgomery, Saquon Barkley, Christian McCaffrey. Send feelers out. Again, I'm not saying sell your core or anything like that, but you never know how someone is feeling about people. For example, I know Mike, part of Get Right here, he's completely down on CMC. If he had CMC right now, I'm not saying he would sell him low, but he would definitely, let him go for a lot less than what I would, a lot less than what Dustin would. So you definitely want to send those offers, those feelers out. Maybe not necessarily even in an actual trade offer, but just hit them up in a text, in the chat, and not the group chat, but in a private DM, and just ask them, hey, are you interested in moving on CMC? Um, take a look at their team, see what they're missing, and if you have the pieces to, potentially make it work, make it happen. So definitely explore those options, is what you want to do. So, but again, personally, I'm holding on to D Hop, as I've said a couple times now here in the show. So definitely a lot of D Hop questions. Hold tight on him. Hold tight. So got a lot of chats here. Keep them coming, guys. Keep them coming. And yeah, and he said it, but he's not worried. So yeah. So again, just catching up here. Dustin saying Sutton. So he agrees with that. Also agrees with the Tim Patrick call as well. We have Jay Mirez drums. Mirez drums. Help me out on that pronunciation if I'm wrong. I'm just going to call you Jay Mir. Jay Mirez says Pittman or Waddle. I would go Waddle in this case. I like the targets. They're not afraid to throw him 2 touchdowns in a game. I like to see that potential. Um, I'll start Waddle in this case, but I do love Pittman, so don't get me wrong. What, 6'4", 6'5", 2 something. Dude looks like a wide receiver 1. His issue is Carson Wentz at this point. He's definitely a good guy, but I'll take Waddle over Pittman this week. Dustin saying Waddle and kind of saying the same thing. Tua loves him. They have that college connection. They have that chemistry and that comfort. He doesn't have to earn that or work with anybody else with that. The timing, it's all there. All in One Show says, should I start Connor or go for Javante on the wire? That's tough, man. I think Connor has a higher percentage of scoring a touchdown. Not that Javante can't, but I think he has that higher upside. I don't have any Connor shares in my leagues right now, so I want to just kind of take a look a little more closely at that Arizona backfield. So Connor is definitely leading it. He's actually, definitely out carrying Edmonds 79 to 53, although Edmonds is out producing him 316 yards to 272 yards. Edmonds has a 6 yards per carry, whereas Connor's only at 3.4. But again, he's more that short yardage back. He does have a lot of, goal line inside the five, green zone type runs. Again, he does have the 5 rushing touchdowns to Edmonds' 0 rushing touchdowns. But again, in a PPR, he does only have 5 receptions. He's 5 for 5 for only 34 yards. Whereas Chase Edmonds is 26 for 30 for 163 yards. Neither of them have actually scored a receiving touchdown. So um, it just depends kind of what you're looking for on your team. If you're just kind of setting up, like I was saying earlier, I love Javante's schedule, his potential. Again, I think this backfield is split. They like what they're doing there. I don't think it's going to change one way or another without an injury. Javante, I would take my chances with him. And just like I said, he has a nice schedule. Connor has a nice schedule too. So it's kind of just pick your poison. I personally like Javante more than Connor, but that's just me. Jay Merez says, should I stash Mike Thomas? Absolutely. He's definitely a guy that can come off the IR and be a top 15, top 20 wide receiver. May have some weeks where he's pushing top 10, top 12. Is the potential. There's also the other side of it where he doesn't even play this year. I drafted him in a keeper league with my 11th round pick. I've mentioned it before, and with the intention of holding him the entire year, just to be able to have him for a 10th round pick next year when they upgrade their quarterback and things like that. Um, I think they still have to be, looking and playing positively for Michael Thomas to come back. I don't think he's, going to rush or play, injured at all. There's no point in him kind of doing that. They're not competing this year. So just again, as long as you're aware of all that, he's worth the stash. If you can trade him and get some value, out of him, do it. Especially the closer we get to him being activated, he's going to have the most value at that point. So that could be a good chance to you know, trade him before his potential stock could drop. After we see a game, if he only goes 2 for 20, all that excitement that we're building up, holding him this long, you're not going to be able to get any value if you panic after what you see. So it just depends. You take the gamble, have him play. If he has a big game, you can sell him for a lot higher than what you would, with him still on the IR. So um, that's my breakdown on that. Michael Thomas. Haven't talked about him too much. I personally traded him in that keeper league I was talking about. I think I got a package that included Chris Godwin in that. I gave up another running back to make that work out. So, um, yeah, just some options with that. Good question. Um, Ka9, good players. What's up, man? I think you've been here before, so welcome back. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button for us. And just real quick before I get into your question, Dustin, who for those of you who don't know who are joining us, Dustin's part of Get Right. He just can't get on the camera right now. He is going to hold it down in the chat for you guys. So he'll get to your answers, give you his input, and then once I get to it here on camera, I'll break it down for you here. So he's just answering our question up here about Javante or Connor. So he agrees with Javante. Dustin and I are big Javante fans. And oops, there we go. So your thoughts on Noah Fant? Dustin says Noah Fant is top 5 so far. I agree with him. To me, he's one of the guys that I feel kind of comfortable starting with every week at the tight end position. He's going to have his good games. He's going to have his bad. But I think over time, without having to worry about, streaming guys every week and, doing all that stuff, I would definitely, feel comfortable just playing him every week and living with the result. So if you have him, keep him, start him. Again, unless you have other options that become available, Goddard, Ertz, somebody like that. But for now, I like Fant. He's good. He's versatile. He splits out wide. He's good at yard after the catch. He just can get hurt at any moment. That's all you got to watch out for. I like Fant. Dustin saying stash or trade Mike Thomas. So we already talked about that. Jay Marez, see, I should probably read him before I put him on. So Jay Marez says, "Well, I got Hill, Cup, Pittman, and Michael Thomas. I have to drop one to get Waddle. Hill, no. Cup, no. Possibly Pittman and Mike Thomas. You don't have an IR spot for Mike Thomas. I would explore that first. If you don't, with that receiving core, a lot of things would have to go wrong for you to need to start Waddle. Obviously, you could use him on bye weeks. If anything, I would probably drop him for Pittman if you really wanted or needed to. But again, I would try to trade him first before you just kind of outright drop somebody. But at the same time, someone could come in and pick up Waddle as well. Um, if you feel like you need to, go ahead and drop Pittman. I hate dropping somebody that's 6'4", 6'5". It's tough. So he's saying, also, have you heard the rumors, Tua going to Washington and Watson to Miami? So, man, yeah, dude, in the Get Right community, again, go into the description, join the community, the sleeper community there. We were talking about it kind of all day today. It was going off on there as we're getting the news, getting the information, the alerts, hearing that news. It looked like it was happening, then it would seem to kinda be fake. I think, Dustin came out and said unless he hears it from Adam Schefter, he's not believing it. I haven't personally had a chance to dive any deeper into that. I was just kinda relying on, our great ambassadors and sources that we have, in the Get Right community, that are following that information and keeping us updated there with that. And it seems like it was kinda split half and half. So, some people are believing it. I started getting, offers for, Waddle, in some leagues. Obviously, a lot of Waddle questions here to pick up. If Deshaun goes to Miami and he's not on that exempt list and they allow him to play and deal with that whole backlash that they could potentially get there, um, that could be huge potential for him. It's definitely an upgrade over quarterback. It'll be a downgrade as far as chemistry goes, so that would kind of suck. These guys aren't just in a video game, so it's not just like, oh, take your best friend. You just got drafted to this team. You guys were in college. Now you're playing in the pros together. You have a connection. You feel comfortable. And then now he has to go learn, from this guy. And who knows what Waddle's personal, feelings and opinions are, about Deshaun. I don't think it's an issue, with these guys, on this level. But again, you never know how that could affect him. Obviously, he needs to play and make his money and do all that. But it's definitely interesting. So definitely keep your eyes on it. Um, I just want to see how it unfolds. We've heard tons of things. We've heard him going to oh no, that I was gonna say Denver, but that was actually Aaron Rodgers. But we heard him going to Philly. It was almost a done deal. And then nothing happened with that. It's just and like we said, until we hear it from Schefter and it's happening, and we will know as soon as there's any movement on it. Um, I'm kind of just I feel the same, as I did when I woke up today about Deshaun, as I do right now, until I hear a little bit more and get a little more concrete evidence as things build towards the weekend. It could be there. So again, take the risk. If you want to go grab them, you want to trade for Tua, or trade for Tua, trade for Waddle, whatever you want to do there. Trade for Scary Terry. If that happens, I don't know. But either way, it's definitely something fun to follow in football and fantasy football. So good luck to you guys who go after it. And if it works out, great. If not, hopefully you didn't risk too much doing it. So um, I think he was saying trade him, stash or trade MT. He was saying trade him instead of stashing him. All right, so we got Brooks here saying, "What up? What up? What up? What up, Brooks? 7 rings in the house. I seen you blowing up the sleeper channel before I got on as I was logging on here. So good to see you here on the stream. Says, what's your outlook on Miles Sanders, Rasta? Fantasy community is rating him pretty high for rest of the season in half PPR. So yeah, we did kind of talk about this earlier, but since you're here with us, hopefully still now, we'll get into it. Biggest reason is the schedule. Obviously, I'm sure you've heard the reports by now. And if you haven't, the coaching staff there is talking about, they need to get a running game going um, to help out Hurts. They've acknowledged him not getting touches, it's on them. I got to see it, to believe it. I hope they do. To us, it's obvious. We have seen them phase out Gainwell. He was getting a little too much run there, it seemed like in the beginning. Again, could have been Sanders still maybe coming off injuries, wanting to, stay healed. But when they give him the ball, he should be able to find success. So again, going back to the schedule for the Eagles, they have the Raiders this week, then they're at Lions, then they go Chargers, Broncos, Saints, Giants, Jets. Then they have their bye week in week 14, and then they have their playoff schedule where they're facing the Washington football team, New York Giants, and then Washington football team again. So that's why the industry is so big on them. He's facing low tier running defenses, only obviously the Saints, maybe the Broncos. Otherwise, he's facing pretty terrible rushing defenses for the rest of the year. So again, if they just give him the ball 15 times a game and use him in the passing game, he should be a breakout. So again, he's one of those guys where you can probably buy low on right now, and it's a risk. It's not a guarantee that it's going to happen. But again, with everything that we can see and forecast at this moment, we're hearing the right things as far as the coaching staff wanting to get him the ball more. He definitely has the talent. We've seen that. He has that ability. He's healthy right now. So if it can all come together with matchups and things like that, he has that potential to be a huge second half breakout. So if you can get him now, do it now before he, definitely try to get him now to go against the Raiders or Detroit. So good question. I like that, man. Good question. And looks like Jay Perez and Dustin are still working out that whole Michael Thomas thing there. And Dustin's kind of saying he's at his highest value now. That's what I was kind of saying as well. If you go back and see that, he's a great receiver with a horrible quarterback. And I think Brooks probably said it best here. Says, "What's up, Dustin?" Again, we're all missing Dustin here on the stream tonight. Hopefully you're feeling better, man. And we'll see you here on Monday. But until then, he's saying Winston is the best, worst QB. So well said. Well said, Brooks. Well said. Winston's the best, worst QB. Love it. And Dustin's agreeing. Hell yeah. You ready for Myers' 2 TDs this week? So, as we know, Brooks is Mr. Seven Rings. He's a big Patriots fan. And they're both rooting to get Myers in the end zone there. He said, I wish every player on the Pats has 2+ TDs every week. So, spoken like a true fan, but even he knows it ain't happening for Myers. So, I won my dollar last week, Brooks, in our gentleman's bet. I'm not taking it this week, though. I actually haven't projected for a touchdown this week. I think they make it happen against the Jets. So good luck to you, man. I don't know why I just told a Patriots fan, good luck. You guys don't need good luck, man. You guys ran this last decade, so you're good. Last 2 decades, you're fine. You can lose for a while, just like a lot of us. Jay Perez says, Mike Thomas and Mike Davis for D Swift. Absolutely. Get it done. I would do that, especially in a full PPR. I would do that in a heartbeat. Do it now. No explanation needed for that one. Just yes. Jonathan Smith. And if Tycoon was here, if he hasn't already, he would say yes too. Jonathan Smith here is back again saying, it's so weird. My team is 5-1, but I'm not in love with it at all. And I've gotten big wins. And yeah, man, it's just been a interesting year, obviously, with a lot of the injuries, Christian McCaffrey going down. That's all going to affect, the way these teams were constructed based on the draft. We know that a lot, of course, doing our Friday night mocks, all off season, understanding how teams were constructed, the pieces that have fallen, got injured, on people's teams. A lot of their core pieces are knocked out. So we've been having to find these guys off the waiver wire. Darrell Williams, Khalil Herbert. These are guys we weren't even thinking of during draft time that played a huge role, in week 6, scoring double-digit, fantasy points and potentially winning some people leagues. So that's why we're here, to try to get our information, get ahead of things, and help you guys make these, moves and decisions that are gonna bring you home that hardware. Um, and so Destin is saying, yeah, he'd want Swift as well, especially with your wide receivers. You're fine. You can get rid of Mike Thomas there. And Dustin, he's just saying he would try with Pittman first instead of Mike Thomas. And, his thought process on that too is you're also giving him a guy he can start now. I would give him the option, possibly, or do that one first, see what he says. But if he really wants Thomas, then go ahead and do that. And again, I don't know if you answered if you have an IR spot or not. And that might be why you're having to trade him if you have no IR. Talk to your commissioner, get an IR spot or two. Makes the game a little bit funner. um, so K9, you're gonna have to let me know how you say that. Good play is here saying thanks for our help there. Um, oh, so he's saying he does have an IR, but it's Kittle. Oh, damn it! Yeah, that's rather keep a tight end in there as well too. So good job. He's just saying he needs a good flex. Yeah. So yeah, I would do that in a heartbeat if you can get Swift. I personally would try Thomas first just because I honestly literally you hook me up to a lie detector, it's not a hot take, it's not, anything like that. I don't think he plays this year. He doesn't have any reason to. He's not on a contract here, he's not going anywhere. The team's not really doing, not expected to do much this year. I think all of New Orleans knows this is just kind of a stopgap year. I think that's why he opted for the surgery in the first place instead of getting it done in the offseason. I think it was a reason for him to not look bad, or try to be rushed to come back this year. So, and or it was just really that messed up. And if so, you want him, healthy for next year. Why risk it if there's nothing, that you're playing for here this year? We're not quite there yet. They're not mathematically eliminated or anything, but like Seven Rings said earlier, Winston is the best worst quarterback. What's up, Hector? Welcome back. He said, let's be real. Javonte has had 50% of 6 weeks. Real great running back had show something. Um, I'm sick of this is the week. Um, yeah, and I agree with you there. If you go look back though, he does have more explosive plays. I believe he has a better yard per carry. I know, you know, that big 70-yard run that Gordon had um probably fluffs that a little bit more to my or not to my liking, but uh possibly in his favor. But let me take a look here since we have it here. They're literally like exactly the same. So 6 games. Melvin Gordon has 70 carries. Javante Williams has 65. Melvin Gordon, in those 5 carries, has only 32 more yards, 332 to 300. Melvin Gordon has that 4.7 yard average, whereas Javante Williams has a 4.6 yard average. Javante has 1 touchdown. Melvin Gordon has 2 touchdowns. Basically split as far as targets go, 16 for Gordon, 15 for Javante. Um, I mean, it's literally split neck and neck right down the middle. Um, I think he's just looked more explosive when you kind of just see him. And again, I'm just saying I like targeting him as a running back 3. I'm not saying he's going to be the running back 1 or anything like that. And I think I said earlier too that it's definitely going to more take an injury to Gordon for him to pop. But I think he definitely has that potential for the end of the year, depending how things are going. If they want to turn over to the younger back, similar to like what the Rams did with Cam Akers last year, just to kind of see what they have if he can take a full workload heading into next year. If that's something they want to do, move on from Gordon. So he's just a guy you can possibly target for cheap and have a nice piece that could turn into something later, a little lotto ticket. So I do agree with you as far as this is the week, but that's not my mindset with it. I just see a potential handcuff that has some good standalone value right now that you can plug and play on a bye week or due to an injury, um, and you have a sample size to see what happens. So and let alone if Gordon gets hurt, he turns into a feature back. So and again with a crazy good playoff schedule. So appreciate that contribution, Hector. Always great having you here at Get Right Fantasy here on the stream, man. So just going back to that, Deshaun Watson, Dustin saying Schefter hasn't mentioned anything yet, so we're holding on that. Um, let's see. Had that realization with Jamal Williams, Hector. Um, yeah, so he's kind of saying the same thing with Jamal Williams. For Jamal Williams to possibly be droppable. He and I had this conversation yesterday about Jamal Williams, and I think after that conversation, Dustin went ahead and dropped him. So again, just really depends, like you said, on the depth of your bench if you should try holding him or not. So Brooke says, "Oh, I didn't know the coaching staff came out and said this about Sanders. Thanks for the update. That's what we're here for, man. Google it, check it, make sure I'm right. Again, we have our sources and whatnot. But again, I wouldn't be telling you guys this just to have a hot take or anything like that. As you know, we roll our sleeves up here at Get Right. We try to find this information and just share it with you so you can help, make your decisions. Just try to keep you updated with what we know, give you our opinion, take your opinion, take a couple other people's opinion, and, whether it, supports your opinion or, whatever it is, do with it what you will. So you're welcome, of course. And that's why we're here, part of the community. I can't with my main league. The two teams I want to trade with the most aren't monitoring their team, yet they paid $20 to play in it. Yeah, man. In a nutshell, that's also kind of why I started this channel as well. You know, those of us here, again, like I always say, we're up at it's 11:30 Pacific right now. You know, have people on the West Coast, different other sides of the world. If you're sitting here listening on our podcast, man, you're into fantasy football or you're getting into it, you're trying to, take yourself to that next level of competition. This is what this community is for. To get in these leagues where, you have, our listener leagues that we have going on right now are super competitive. When we do our waiver wire show and these guys that we're talking about were picked up 2 weeks ago. I just sent Dustin a text the other day. He just got in a league that for the first year that he actually got into our keeper league this year with Frank and I. And I sent him a text the other day and said, every time I look for somebody, he's on your damn roster. I'm not used to that. I'm not used to having him in having him in that league. But he brings that extra level of competition to the league, and so it makes it kind of makes you step your game up as well. Trying to stay ahead of this information, makes you take risks here or there, just because you can't just fall back and rely on other people kind of not paying attention. So again, what I'm getting at is, play your leagues, understand what you're playing with. If you're looking to get into, more competitive leagues where there's 10, 12, 14 people that are on the wire every day, talking about this stuff, put a post on the sleeper channel, man. Let people know you're looking to get into a league, whether it's paid, whether it's free. Again, just make sure you're trusting people, don't get scammed, anything like that. I hope nobody here in the Get Right community would do anything like that. But that's what we're here for. Get into these competitive leagues. It makes it fun and, we'll really tell you where you stand, in this game. So it's a lot of fun. Definitely get into these other leagues. Obviously you can play higher stakes, things like that to make it worth, people's time. When everybody's putting 100% effort in the league, it makes it really fun. So good luck. That's definitely an issue you have to deal with though. Sometimes the guys we're trying to target are on teams that people don't trade. They're not monitoring the team. That's all common. So good luck to you there. Brooke says I can only keep one half PPR. Jarvis Landry or Damian Williams. Half PPR. I mean, Montgomery's going to be back here in a couple weeks. If you really need to, I think you can drop Damian Williams. Landry is going to be a season long piece for you once he does come back. Sounds like he's going to be back here soon. He's been an Ironman. These are the first games he's missed in his career, I believe, breaking one of the longest consecutive game start records that were going on. So I would definitely hold on to Landry. Obviously, the Baker news and things like that make it a little tougher. And again, if you had to, because you're looking to pick somebody else up, I would just go ahead and cut ties with Damian or try to, trade him off to the Demont owner if you can. for another piece. Do a 2 for 1 or something like that. So that's that. Um, Jay Merez, yep, he's saying I say William, so he agrees, and this is what I love, man. Get right community. We're all in here. We're asking questions, answering questions. This is what we do. So really appreciate it. And Jay Merez is agreeing with me, saying true. So I think I finally got caught up here with the chats. But that was awesome, man. Really appreciate you guys. Getting your questions in here. A lot of the guys that I wanted to talk about, we did get to cover here, and I gave you my extended explanations on it. If you have any more questions, obviously let me know about your roster management. Again, I always like to say, get in that description, join the community, post a photo of your, post a photo of your team, of your other, teams. If you want us to help analyze and break stuff down, I love doing that kind of stuff personally. All day, I'll go back and forth with you. For those of you who have taken us up on that and done that, I'm sure you're, been happy with those results. It may or may not be the, info you want to hear, but I'm sure you've noticed that we do have a lot of people that chime in that know their stuff and are more than willing to give you their opinion and utilize their expertise and their research to help you make your decision. So again, I don't like trying to tell people what to do. I like to try to just educate you so you're aware of all the information. Just like Brooks mentioned earlier about the Miles Sanders information. Again, for me, I just assume everything I hear, everybody else has heard it as well. But apparently that's not the case. So, so I always want to. Again, that's why we have the show. That's why I'm here. And this is what we do. Um, Good question. See, Jay Merez, you're starting to turn into an ambassador already. You're setting me up perfectly for my plugs. We're here Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and also so Monday, Wednesday, and Friday nights, 9:30 or 10 o'clock. Again, we do this on the side. So once the family and everybody goes to bed, get the kids back from baseball and football games, I come in here, get in the studio, and we start the stream. Again, 9:30 or 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And then Mike and I try to get on, mostly Mike, but if I can, try to get on Sunday morning, and we do our active inactives, go over our last minute start sit, questions that you have. We start at 8 a.m. Pacific, heading all the way up to 9:30 Pacific. A half hour before game times. We do need that last half hour to utilize that information, get our lineups and our DFS and everything like that going before the games start at 10 our time. So thanks for that. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Mondays we do waiver wire. Wednesday is your roster management, and Friday is our start, sit, and game preview. So that's a long show. Mike and I break down all of the games. You can go back and check the other ones. It'll be a timestamp there, so you can just get the games. But we do a lot of live Q&A. We love the interaction and helping you guys out with your decisions. So that's that. Let's see. Yeah, Brooke says Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 10 p.m. Pacific, and Sunday, 7 or 8. It's 8 a.m. Pacific. So right on that. Perfect. Love it. Thanks, Brooks. See, ambassadors, man. This is why we have them. We couldn't do this stuff without you, man. Couldn't do it without you guys. And again, this is the community that you're joining, man. So make sure you hit that like and subscribe button so we can get it in there. Jonathan's just chiming in one last time, or not one last time. Keep chiming in if you will. But he says it makes it hard because everyone is hard headed, won't take a trade that benefits both sides because they don't feel comfortable giving away good players. Especially if you're one of those guys that turns out to kind of be, someone who knows their stuff in the league. A lot of the times, if you're trying to target a player, I've had it happen to me where you're just trying to target a player, but because you're going after that player and you kind of have that reputation of knowing things, more than what somebody else may know, or just, being a nerd and diving into all this information, it kind of makes them go, what's going on with this guy? Or why does he want him? Sometimes I'm just doing it just to change things up, or I have a hunch and I'm taking a risk, but then now they want to hold him. And I can't, even and I have to end up overpaying for someone I shouldn't have to, just because sometimes it's, who you're trading with. So again, this part of fantasy football, it's what it is. Um, and yeah, no one's has to trade with you. There's no anything that says anyone has to trade. If they want to keep their shitty players and shitty lineup, then by all means, and that benefits you too, because that's one less lineup you have to worry about. You're trying to fix your lineup to go after the person that's upping theirs. If nobody else is improving their lineup throughout the year, then you should be fine. So take advantage of that. But yeah, sometimes just the good players get stuck on untradeable teams. It happens. It just sucks, but I feel you there. Um, how are you liking James Robinson rest of the season? Um, Again, as long as they're going to keep giving the ball like they have, I think he's a high end RB2. Definitely someone I'm worth willing to start every week, comfortable. Um, until we see otherwise, as long as they don't revert back to what they were doing, with DJ Chark, gone now, he's one of the better options they have in that offense. The better that Trevor Lawrence gets, it's going to open up that run game for him even more. But he's still churning out 100-yard games. So if they keep giving him the ball, I like him. He's not someone I'm like trying to go after or target, but if you have him, you drafted him, you held on to him this long, you didn't drop him when he was going through all that nonsense. He should produce where you drafted him or higher, especially if he stays healthy. He was one of the only guys to play all 16 games last year, so that was nice. It's one of the biggest reasons why he's rated so high, just because he was able to stay healthy with all those touches. So I like him. He says, "Man, I'm going to try my hardest to tune in as much as I can. It's currently 1:27. Ooh, that's brutal. I know, man. When we're late, we get you guys all on different, coasts and even different countries. We have guys from Australia and Colombia and Hawaii and all over the world, which is so awesome. I never thought we would be here at this point. And again, we love for you to be live. If you can't make it live, it'll be there when you wake up in the morning, man. Check it out in the morning. You can play us at 1.5 times speed to get through it a little quicker. Slow it down when you need to. If we're talking about a player or somebody you want. And if you have your questions, utilize the community. We have a lot of guys here on the East Coast, that work that can't make the live stream, but they're active all day in the Get Right community on Sleeper. So definitely do that. So we appreciate it, man. Tune in for as long as you can. And if you fall asleep listening to me, man, that's okay. Um, maybe it'll be like your lullaby every night. You'll have my voice going in your head. That's kind of cool to think about. But again, we appreciate it, Jay Merez. And again, if I'm saying that wrong, please correct me. Give me the phonetic spelling, and maybe I'll just call you Drums. I got to know. Let me know which nickname you like. I like making things easy for us here. So we have Dustin either asking from time to time, we like to get opinions, from our own teams and feel everybody else out. You get in your own head a lot. Should I trade CMC and Hubbard for Devontae and Waddle? Devontae Smith and Waddle? Or Devontae Adams? I assume that's Devontae Adams and Waddle. If you have the running back depth, which I know you usually do if you're even considering trading CMC, I mean, you're getting Devontae Adams. So if you're done with CMC at this point, I would go ahead and do it if you want. But again, we were drafting CMC ahead of Devontae. It really depends on your other guys. Dustin, have that conversation with me offline and we'll work that out. Jonathan saying it's 2 a.m. here. Who knows how long ago it was when he said that. So we're probably a little past that now. I guess it's probably only 4 minutes past, so not too behind here on the comments. But we appreciate you sticking that out, man. Get right, trooper. Definitely appreciate that. So he has an interesting sleeping schedule. Don't we all, man? We're all crazy with this stuff going on. So he says, what time do you guys start your non-dynasty leagues for every year? I'm just getting into dynasty. This year, I'm a big redraft guy. That's all I've played for, 12 years. I started doing keeper league about 6 or 7 years ago, similar to dynasty, but it's, still definitely way different. Had my first, we did a listener dynasty league that we started, with the inception of this channel, with a lot of the original subscribers that, helped us get going here, which has been a lot of fun, a lot of learning. And again, just getting through this. I'm not an expert on everything in this fantasy realm. But when it comes to redraft, I feel like I know what I'm talking about, with this stuff. And I definitely do the research. I'm not just, spitting this stuff, spewing from the top of my head. It's based on research. It's based on watching games, watching film, analyzing a lot of things. Again, I'm not a professional at this stuff. I do it on the side. But at the same time, you know, we have that input. So again, I don't know what time they usually start. I assume if you're doing a startup, really you can really kind of do it anytime. Usually July 1st is kind of the kickoff of the fantasy season, so to speak. That's when the Scott Fish Bowl happens. I see that as a good time. I think we did ours because we didn't start ours until after the actual NFL draft. We included the rookies in that draft, but you can always, do your regular draft if it's a startup prior. Oh wait, he does say non dynasty. I got to read the question. See, it's getting late for me here too, guys. He says, "What time do you guys start your non dynasty leagues for every year?" So for just the standard redraft leagues, I personally like to draft them a month before the start of the season. I like to have it a month out, just because I feel like I do a lot of research. So I like to take advantage of that ADP, risers and fallers. Again, we do Friday night mocks and all that kind of stuff. So we have an idea of where we can get guys, and I think you can get better value because once training camp opens, people start seeing preseason games. Guys that weren't paying attention for 6 months that we've just, now their names up there and now they blow up and you can't get the value that you could have got, a couple weeks before. But ultimately, to make it fair in more casual leagues, you kind of want to do it about a week out. You don't have people running into injuries, things like that. Again, it's more casual, so there's going to be less trades. When you're in a competitive league, you're on the waiver wire doing a lot of stuff. You're comfortable with a lot more players. So it, makes it a little more doable. So again, probably spent a way too much time on that question. But that's what we do here. So I'm by myself, so I can. I don't have to give airtime to anybody else. So Dustin's confirming that it was Devontae Adams. I'll take Devontae if you have good running backs. And yeah, I'm kind of there with you too as well. He said, "You're right, brother. You're pronouncing it right. But to make it easier, just call me JJ." Oh, there we go. So what's up, JJ? There it is. Official nickname. It's done. Dustin saying he always has hella RBs. As you know, we're from California because we say hella. Apparently, not a lot of people say that anywhere else. And what's funny is I'm in SoCal now, so I brought that down here with me from NorCal. Some are injured. Yeah, aren't all of our running backs injured at this point? Got a nice little barrage of comments here again, so this is great, guys. Jack, what's up, Jack? Welcome back, man. Elijah Mitchell or Javonte Williams or Alex Collins. Who do we start this week? We have to see what's going on with Collins before we can decide on that. We have Eli Mitchell going against Indiana. I do like him. I think with the bye week, he should be coming back good with that shoulder now. I would be surprised if I didn't see him get at least 20 carries this game. I don't think it'll be a split with Sermon. Looked like he came back even still halfway injured and pretty much dominated snaps. I think Sermon only got one carry with a banged up Elijah Mitchell. So I think it's his backfield to lose at this point. Again, Javonte Williams, to me, I don't think this is the Javonte Williams week or anything like that. He's a nice, just, spot start, a bye week filler if you need one. Alex Collins, I think, could do things. It just depends on, we don't know what that split is between him and Penny. So again, to me, just based on sheer usage alone, and that potential with what we know as of right now, give me Elijah Mitchell, and that's not even because I'm a Niners fan. So that's the analyst in me talking. So what's up, Jack? Good luck to you there with whoever you decide. And Mike and I will break it down more, I'm sure, on Friday. So just make sure you join us then. I feel like every year I draft perfect, except I can never nail the right running backs. Early and often, my friend. Early and often. That's the only way you're going to get a lot of them. And even if you pick the right ones, it's a crapshoot. They get so many touches, 20 times a game. They're getting tackled. They're running up in the line with all these 350-pound men falling on them. I'm surprised they don't get hurt more often. And I'm surprised not every running back gets hurt. I'm surprised, when you have people like Derrick Henry that are the size of linemen, you don't have to worry about so much there. But, these other guys, getting tackled that many times, man, you're just bound to get nicked up, here or there. So and let alone the freak major injuries that happen, non-contact and things like that. So it's a lot of risk involved. So that's why it's important to build out your team properly. Make sure you have depth in the places that it needs to be. And at this point, I just kind of go back to all the people we were drafting with in Friday night mocks and say, this is why I don't draft those wide receivers early. Get those running backs so you have them, and just be able to play that waiver wire game, because the wide receivers go down too. So you're going to get hurt. It's just going to happen. Um, let's see. Ooh, what's up, Tycoon? Have a Tycoon sighting. I am solo tonight. Probably be on here for a little bit longer, man. If you're not doing anything, and you want to come on and join me, man, come join me. Let me see if I can get this. Sorry, guys. Let me get this StreamYard invite over to Tycoon here, and maybe we'll bring somebody else on here and give you a second opinion or two here for a little bit. So no pressure, Tycoon. Only if you're not busy. As you guys know, the Fantasy Boardroom. If you haven't already, go check them out on YouTube as well. Great guy. Knows his stuff. Big dynasty guy. He's in over, I don't know, it seems like 40 leagues, and I'm not even exaggerating. He can give you his whole records, and he has a whole spreadsheet just to keep track of it. We've had some good conversations late night lately. And so yeah, we definitely need to collab a little more. So I'm gonna try to get this over to him. As you know, you always have an open invite here on Get Right, my friend. So let's see if we can make this happen. Sorry, guys. I know it's probably not the dead air time is killing me. All right. So there you go. If you can join me, cool. If not, it's all good. Um oh, okay. It's all right. It's all right. He says I can't do the proper camera setup when the house is asleep. Oh, that helps. That happens, man. That happens. It's all good, brother. As you know, it's always a standing invite. So you just let me know whenever you can or want to get in during the week. So it's all good. We'll have to plan out a little better. So anyway, back here, Sean Hagstrom. I might remember your name. If you're new, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. But I appreciate you coming in and contributing, answering questions. I love it. He's saying go for Jack, go with Mitchell there as well too. So appreciate that, Sean. Um, saying either way they get hurt and never pan out well. Yeah, it happens, dude. It happens. I've seen some people's lineups that are brutal that are like CMC, Montgomery, so and so. I know people that again, how I said we like to draft early, a month early. We had people, I think Awkward Shark Dad drafted Cam Akers and J.K. Dobbins, on one team, and was basically done before the preseason even started. So that kind of stuff happens, man. It's tough. Um, Mitchell Collins is playing this. Mitchell Collins is playing the Saints, and Javante is sharing the backfield while playing Cleveland. So good running defense. The Cleveland issues are more on the offensive side of the ball this week. So that's that. So getting a lot of love there, Jack. He's sending the appreciation back to everybody there. Multiple thanks for everybody chiming in. So this is what we do, man. Appreciate it. It's awesome. Sean's back and saying is Collins playing Monday night with multiple injuries. Yeah, a little risky there. So yeah, definitely go Mitchell. Live with the result. Oh, I don't want to say definitely. I would go Mitchell and live with the result. And Jonathan says I'm very interested in competitive leagues. Yeah, man. We have our listener league. We'll figure out how we're going to qualify for it next year. We did like a drawing for it this year. We usually give out like each of us pick somebody as like a golden buzzer that we wanted to have in it this year, and then we did a drawing, for the other spots. We did some trivia questions, things like that. So, if you're interested, man, put it out there on the channel, in Sleeper. DM us, and we'll see if we can get you in one of these leagues, man. Absolutely, and definitely for next year. We'll get a lot of them going. JM, I think it is Jai. Jai. Let me know how that's pronounced, my guy. Says I'm in a six-man league. My team is Mahomes, Mixon, Kamara, Zeke, Ridley, Keenan Allen, and Waller with Henderson, Debo, Josh Jacobs, and Montgomery on the bench. He's 1-4. What should I do? Yeah, man, those six-man leagues are tough, dude, because every team is stacked. You really have to just kinda get lucky, with, not having those injuries and guys you're playing against. Obviously, it doesn't sound like you have the, Derrick Henrys or, those kinda guys who've been going off, the Tyreek Hills, those kinda guys. So what you need when you go to a six-man league is you have a lot of a nice floor guys here, but to me, you're missing some boom in your lineup. And by that, I mean you're missing a Tyreek Hill, you're missing a Derrick Henry, you're missing a Cooper Cup. You're missing one of these guys that could just on their own win you a week. I mean, you have Mahomes, but he's been kind of almost playing down at this point. He's not putting up those 40 and 50-point games, of years past. Um, that's to me what you're kind of missing here. You have a lot of blue collar, roll your sleeves up type of guys on this team. It would be obviously a great 12-man team. But again, I just think you're missing a little punch. So again, with six-man leagues, it's kind of tough because it's six man, so it's kind of hard to trade, for a Derrick Henry or somebody like that. The only thing I would maybe try to do is try to trade for Christian McCaffrey. But again, in a six-man league, it's easy enough just to stash him and have, a competent replacement, not have to, give up CMC for, anything, too much. Maybe you can give up Mixon and Kamara for CMC or something like that. Again, I don't know why you would, and I don't really deal too much with six-man leagues. So again, I'm kind of thinking on the spot here and trying to wrap my head around, team construction and things like that. If you can't tell, but that's what I would be looking for. And then obviously Waller's underperformed. Ridley's underperformed. Keenan Allen's been coming off a couple bad games. You had Kamara on a bye week. Mixon was banged up. Mahomes underperforming. Henderson's been good. Debo was a good pick for you. Josh Jacobs hasn't done anything, and Montgomery's hurt. So again, I see why you're 1-4. I would assume these guys though are going to hopefully turn it around, just as bad as they've kind of stunk it up here in the beginning of the year. So good luck to you there. Again, scroll down in that description. Join our sleeper channel. Send me a screenshot of your league. Maybe you can send me the other 5 teams that are in that league. I'd be happy to analyze it, break it down for you, and kind of let you know what I would do. People I would maybe go after in trades I would put together. So hit me up on that at Rostafarin on Sleeper. The spelling and everything is down there in the description. And again, if you haven't already, Jay or Jai, um, hit that subscribe button, man. We'd appreciate it if you haven't already. So, um, oh, there's more to that. My bad. He says, and he has AB, Darrell Williams on the bench as well too. Okay, I like AB, so he's one of your boom guys there. So at least you have one of those guys. Um, but yeah, you need to add a little more upside, a little more higher ceiling, lower floor potentially type guys. So that's what I would go after. Again, hit me up on the sleeper channel, and we'll definitely dive into that more. Man, we still got a ton of questions coming in here. I thought I was almost going to end the show. You guys are keeping it going, man. I love it. I love it. Let's see. Jack says, "Do you know what the status is of Kadarius Toney? Also, do you think he has the potential to be a top 15 wide receiver?" So, from what I understand, it sounds like obviously he's dealing with that ankle issue. It sounds like he's going to miss this week. I believe he's listed as doubtful right now. Hasn't officially been ruled out. But it sounds like they're going to sit him at least a week. So we'll pay attention to the injury report more next week. See how he's recovering. The good thing is he's a young guy, so it shouldn't take him too long just to bounce back. Hopefully it's a lower ankle sprain. I'm sure if it was a high ankle we would have heard it by now. They don't feel they need to put him on the IR, which means he would have to miss at least 3 games. So that at least tells us that hopefully it should just be 1, maybe 2 games that he's going to miss. I think the Giants also have their bye week coming up. as well. Let me just double check that. Not till week 10. Um, yeah, so he'll probably come back week 9 against the Raiders at the latest. And there's a small chance he'll come back against the Chiefs in week 8. So keep an eye on that. As far as his potential, he looks like that dude, man. What do they call him? Like the human joystick or something like that. He, I think that was actually Dante Hall. Shout out to the Chiefs back in the day. We all know him from Madden, running touchdowns back with him. But anyway, he makes plays, man. It wasn't like he looks like that dude, man. He kind of passes that eye test for me. I like him. If you can target him, I would, especially with him hurt right now. Maybe people don't know, what they have with him. He could potentially kind of. I think I was telling Frank or Mike or someone today, Dustin, in our text chain, that he has the potential to be OBJ. We all know OBJ kind of missed the beginning of the year and wasn't doing anything, and then came back from that injury and had a huge 3 quarters or second half of the year. Um, he has that potential. Obviously there's a lot of receivers there, but he can emerge from that wide receiving core. I like him a lot. Do I think he'll be top 15? If he's getting 3 catches for 36 yards on the first series, and they're targeting him that much, and he's doing what he does with the ball, I think he has that type of upside. Will it be consistent? Week, top 15 or higher every week. I don't know if he's there yet, just because of the offense and just because of Daniel Jones's limitations. But um, I like him. I like him a lot. Let's see. Yeah, so Jack's saying a 6-man league, some wild teams in that league, I bet. Yeah, and I'm sure you saw me when I was going through that. I was just kind of adjusting, the draft and just kind of thinking on how that draft would work with the 6-man. You'd have to be on top of your stuff as far as your roster management there. A lot of times in 12 and 14 team leagues, you're kind of forced to start who you have because that's all you have. And you don't really have a better option. But when you're playing in those smaller leagues, it's not like the challenge is just different. You don't need to know as many players, but you almost need to know about these players more and more. The tier levels are so smaller when it comes to a shorter league. So it'd be interesting to get in one of those leagues. I'm actually a little more interested in those 6 and 8-man leagues now than I was before we started this channel. So very interesting. Tycoon says fantasy's the goal. The late Monday, Wednesdays are tough. Yeah, they are, dude. I get it. Sometimes on Fridays too, with the wife time, but at least possibly doable. Yeah, not to mention we run the show till like 2 in the morning anyway, so I'm sure she falls asleep eventually, and when she's done, hopefully you can jump on with us or something like that, or she can have a girls' night out one week, and you can come on here and have a boys' night in, talk some football like we always do. But as you know, dude, standing invite always here. And again, for those of you guys who are watching, take a quick second, go over to the fantasy, hit your YouTube, search for the fantasy boardroom as you see right now. Let's get that man some subscribers, man. Get right community, the 11 people that are on here right now. I know we're not huge or anything like that, but we do got 11 people watching. If you're all on here right now, man, go support Tycoon, man. Check out his stuff. He's in the sleeper. He's always contributing to the Get Right community. So go check out his info, his channel, and support him with the subscribe, man. And you'll see him here hopefully with us here on Friday or next Friday. So we'll get it on. We'll make it happen again. All right. So he says, yeah, I'm thinking about trading Mixon and Woods for Cup. It's a full PPR league, and my wide receiver are killing me, but I don't know. I would definitely try. If the guy's hurting for running backs, possibly you can make that happen. But usually these top 3 guys, it's going to take, something hard for someone to get off that, or he just has to not like Cooper Cup for whatever reason, and is willing to move off of him. If not, I don't see why he does it. You may have to shoot for a little lower than that, maybe like a Steph Diggs, DK Metcalf, AJ Brown. Some of these underperforming guys that are set up, to have a good second half. Not so much maybe DK as far as having a good second half. It's going to be a little later in the season. But definitely with people like AJ Brown, once he gets healthy and their schedule lightens up a little bit here, could be somebody you could target, low, and be able to buy low. Dustin saying he wants to do an early show. Yeah, we've been trying to arrange that. Possibly splitting our Friday show into 2 episodes. Just doing half of the teams instead of doing the whole, rundown and making that show so long. So we're trying to see if we can maybe do a Thursday night show with Dustin and Mike. Also to get more of our East Coast audience involved with that. And then of course Mike and I will still be here for you guys on Fridays, taking your questions and stuff with this time slot. So, we should be good and just keep adding to the channel. So that's what we want to do. But we'll figure it out. We'll have to figure that out. Oh, and Dustin, if you're still watching, Dynasty Pylon wants to get you on over there too. I was talking to them earlier on their show today, and they want to get you on there for their IDP show. So we'll have to arrange that. Guest spots, man. We all help each other out here. It's an awesome community. So Jack is saying I got Jefferson and Lamb on their bye week. So I have a rough wide receiver lineup for this week: Hunter Renfrow, Allen Robinson, or AJ Green. Give me Renfrow and Green. Roll with it. Simple as that. Believe it or not, it's probably weird when I just give a quick answer and don't give any explanation, huh? It was weird for me, just a little bit of silence after that. I can't believe I haven't shut up in 140 or an hour and 46 minutes, so I don't think anyone here is surprised. Sean says, am I the only one that thinks Derrick Henry might actually get hurt? He's projected for 400 plus rushes, but no one ever talks about picking up his handcuff. Because this handcuff isn't that dude like he is. And the dude's just built like a tank, man. He lays the hits on the defense, man. He's tried. He's shown that he stays healthy. Yeah, is he due to get hurt? Absolutely. Probably as soon as I would be able to trade for him, he would go down. Almost guaranteed. Hashtag roster reaper. But until then, I'm going to just assume, just like we assume people are injury prone, I'm going to assume he's not injury prone and he's healthy prone. He's just prone to stay healthy and be able to get that many carries and not take the beating. He's giving the beating. Dude's a beast. And again, until I see otherwise, it's going to take a freak accident, someone just rolling up on him wrong or, a lineman landing on him or hitting his knee or something like that. But dude takes care of himself, takes care of his body. He knows how to run. He's fast. And again, he lays the hit on people before they can hit him. So, or he's just running past them and he don't get hit 70 yards to the house. Dude that big that can run that fast is just doesn't make sense. Anyway, Jeremy Nichols is who you want though. If you do, what's weird is he kind of looks like a baby version of Henry, actually. Or at least he did last year. He looks a little different this year, but I thought that was interesting. Or not? Was it Nichols? I think it's the other guy, but I think it is Nichols. Anyway, JJ says, "Man, I hope he doesn't. I play against him. He's a total monster, and I enjoy watching him play." Absolutely, man. If you're a football fan, you love Derrick Henry, man. He's what football's all about. All right, man. So we have Haas here asking what he should do with this team. He says, I have Allen, Najee, Lamb, Knox, and Bass on a bye. You are fully bye-nadoed. The rest of his guys are Carr, Taylor, McKissick, Carter, Collins, Ayuk, Sutton, Higgins, Bateman, and Seals Jones. He needs a kicker, but doesn't want to drop Bass. Run without him, man. I mean, you can probably drop Ayuk at this point. I don't think he has too much value. I don't think people would be running to the waiver wire to get him. Your league better than I do. Just as far as production goes, he would be someone I would be looking to drop out of all of those guys. If you needed to pick up somebody, if you needed to open up a spot there, he would be the one I would drop at this point. Yeah, that's where you're at because you still have some good depth there. Even if somebody picks him up, I don't think you're losing too much. And if you did, sometimes those are the risks you have to be willing to take. If you're not completely sold, you don't want to drop Ayuk for whatever reason, maybe Bateman, but to me, I'd rather hold Bateman to see what his he could be versus what we've seen so far from Ayuk. We know what his potential is, what we saw last year, especially with the quarterback play he had. So I have to assume he turns it around here soon. But again, you never know. So with what we know now, I'd be fine with dropping Ayuk. Um, Dustin, oh, he made the trade. Traded CMC for Devontae. So congratulations, dude. That's exciting. That's super exciting, dude. Congratulations. Nice getting the number one receiver in fantasy. Traded the number one running back that's hurt for him out at least, two more games, or did that game start this last week? I don't know exactly when they put him on IR again. But he is out a few more weeks, plus a bye week. Plus, we don't know how he's going to come back from that soft tissue injury. Probably, I think Dustin's has a little PTSD from having McCaffrey last year. It's starting to happen again. So instead of taking that risk, he's trying to capitalize on it now and let him be somebody else's problem. So um, let him be somebody else's good problem to have, I should say. Congratulations, dude. It's nice when we make a trade on the buy, trade, sell show. Love it. Um, I just hope it's not in a league where I'm playing you, because if it is, I'm upset now. And my phone was just going off on crazy. You guys probably did see that. I hope it's not early. Anyway, uh, hold on. I got to check now just because I'm curious. Oh, crap. It wasn't our league. Damn it. Damn it. Sorry. God, what did it? See, that's why I don't like you in this league, man. I was just talking about that earlier. Anyway, sorry, I had to have my moment there, guys. So Jay here says, how do I message you on Sleeper? I'll put my again, it's in the description, but I'll put it here in the chat for you guys. My Sleeper handle, it's at Rastafarin, RAST1FARIN. So that's in the chat now if you want it. I'll put it up here on the screen so you guys can see it. And it would be at Rastafarin on Sleeper. So send me a DM. I'll send you a link if you couldn't figure it out. I'll send you the link to join the community. But definitely send it on over. I probably won't answer any questions tonight because I have to just kind of decompress, although I probably will just jump on and, kind of say thanks to everybody and just kind of see what's going on. But we'll definitely get back at it in the morning, and you'll have all of our East Coast ambassadors and guys if you want to start posting your stuff now, and they'll definitely get to it before I wake up tomorrow. So it's almost like 24/7 service we provide here at Get Right. So definitely do it, man. We love to grow the community, and of course, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I'm sure you did already, but if you haven't, hit that like and subscribe button for us. It really helps us out. So Haas here. Oh, no. Sorry, Haas. Well, we'll get to it since I have it on the screen now, but I didn't mean to jump all the way ahead. Any chance I could get a spot in a league next year? Absolutely, there's a chance, and that's a chance you'll have to be willing to take. We will definitely be doing our listener league next year. Absolutely, we're gonna, work on that. We'll figure out, how we're gonna do that again for next year, whether it's some type of contest, drawing, things like that. And regardless of getting in the listener league with us here, if there's other leagues that you want to invite, one of the four of us into one of your leagues that you want to create, we're more than happy usually to jump in those leagues. If you want to play against us, we're more than welcome to send the invite. As we get to know you here, don't come at me and say, hey, I have a $2,000 buy and I want you to join Rasta. I'll probably give you a big Derrick Henry stiff arm on that one. But if you have, a lower stakes league or something that we all want to get going, or just to, again, be competitive and play for a lot of pride, I'm definitely down. So hit me up on the DM for that, Oz, and we'll get that going. We'll get in a league together, man. Absolutely. FF Season says, what's good? Get right. Sorry I'm late. What's up, Season? I'm about to shut the show down, but I'm glad you got here, man. Always a pleasure. For those of you guys who don't know, Season actually is one of the guys who hits me up on Twitter, is his preferred app of choice. On there, we're at Get Right Fantasy on Twitter.
You can always send us a DM there, you know, and see what we do. So, um, yeah, and he says, "Got to rewatch the episode. I know y'all brought the fire tonight. It was just me, solo show, but I hope I brought the fire. Some analyst, and it's just a bunch of me talking for almost 2 hours here. So my jaw's starting to hurt a little bit. Now you guys know I can talk all day. So Dustin saying, "What's up? Sorry for you guys. I didn't mean to skip your questions here. So let me get back to where I was. Um, let's see. Okay, where were we? Oh yeah, there we were. So how to get a hold of you on the Sleeper app. So the link should be posted in the channel, and many people should answer. So yeah, kind of said all that. Do you know how to upload photos on it? So there's like a little plus button right next to where you enter your text. Just hit that, and then you can like attach a GIF, do a poll, do a bunch of other things. Um, you have to create the post first, and then go into the comments and do your screenshot there in the comments. So again, any questions, send me a DM, and we'll show you how to use Sleeper if you haven't been on there before. And again, welcome to the community, man. I love hearing it. Love it. We're growing, man. Growing the community. This is awesome. Tycoon here saying he's appreciate the love, Ant. Thanks, man. Like we said, that's probably when I was telling you guys a while ago to go find the fantasy boardroom. Make sure you subscribe to his channel as well. He started after us here. He's just getting his channel going. So we want to get his subscribers up. I know he does a lot on the podcast side and things like that, but we definitely want to help him on the YouTube platform. So do what you can, and it doesn't cost you anything. Just hit that subscribe button, and it really helps us out on this side of the table, so to speak. So really appreciate it, man. Um, Dustin just helping out here. It's similar to texting on Facebook and YouTube, where you have to just kind of add the attachment there. And yeah, so as we all know, like we said, Tycoon is the best dressed man in fantasy. So he's saying when he comes over here to get right, he doesn't even have to wear a tie here on our show. So, I don't even have a get right shirt on tonight. But if you do want a get right shirt, we have a bunch of different apparel. Go to getrightff.com. Scroll down, you'll see where you can visit our online store. T-shirts, sweatshirts, mugs, socks, leggings for your girl, bunch of stuff we have on there. Check it out. Buy yourself some stuff, um, and rock it. If you do get anything, take a picture of it, post it in the community, man. We'd love to see it. And who knows, maybe we'll throw you another shirt or do something for those people that are soaking up the merch, decked out in the get right gear. He said he actually sent me that trade because the person has Hunt, Chubb, and J Rob, and all three are out. Ooh, that's interesting then. Yeah, send it to me, and we'll work that out off air here. I love it, man. Um, Dustin's asking, "Are you Gov Daddy?" He's seen someone just post. Um, so that's that. Let's see. What's your opinion on Deshaun Watson? Is he worth picking up? We did talk about that earlier, Jack. I know it's a 2-hour show to kind of go back, so I'll kind of give you the Cliff Note version. But once I'm done, if you want to, go back and kind of search and try to find it, um, basically in a nutshell, in redraft, if you want to stash him, if you have like an open spot to do it, a very low end guy that you kind of just have there, then I would go ahead and grab him just to see what happens with what we're hearing. Dynasty, he should have been drafted, in dynasty startups, or, if he was already owned or dropped, or, if you want to trade for him, there's low value potential there now. Maybe not with this news. Maybe that value is spiking up a little bit. But again, talent wise, absolutely, he's worth every moment that you're stashing him. We just have to see what's going on with all this legal stuff. Is what it is. It'd be interesting. He'd go back there with Will Fuller. He'd also have Jalen Waddle. He'd have a tight end at his disposal and Gasecki. You know, they get him a running back there for next year. They shore up some things on that defense. Get their cornerbacks, being shut down corners, because they're motivated and understand they have a chance to win. Because the other side of the ball, and Miami could be dangerous again. So that's my Watson take too. So hope that worked for you, Jack. Again, we can talk about it a little more if you join the community. There's actually a Deshaun thread that's going on there. I've commented on it. A ton of people have commented on it on there. Um, there's a lot of messages about it there. So definitely go check it out. Let's see. Now I'm kind of interested because I know it was blowing up this morning. Um, yeah, so 23 different messages in there as as far as is Deshaun worth picking up. So Seven Rings posted that this morning, and we've been all chiming in on that throughout the day. I'm not sure what you were talking about. You're in Rasta about, but I appreciate it. Unless you're talking about that you're in the league, and in that case, I hate that you're in the league now. No, I'm just kidding. Renfro or Patrick, JJ says, um, as you, I don't know if you know yet, but I'm a Niners fan. I hate all things Raiders. It's just in my blood. Sorry, born and raised, or not raised, but born in San Francisco. Big Niners fan. I can't root for a Raider. So give me Tim Patrick. No, if it's full PPR, obviously you have to consider Renfro. I do like the upside with Patrick. Again, no Jerry Judy yet. I still think he's relevant. So I take my shot with Patrick. The only thing, obviously, with potentially Cleveland not being able to put up a lot of points, maybe there's not too many points in this game. Just period. Between Cleveland and Denver tomorrow night. The Las Vegas game should be more of a shutout. And, Renfro definitely has a nice floor. So, definitely pick your poison. That's how I feel. I personally probably would go, Patrick. But if a caveat, if Teddy Bridgewater doesn't play, I would definitely go Renfro there. And then Jay says, yes, he is Gavadetti. I'm sure you guys figured that out already. Yeah, so he said it's in your league too, and yeah, I gave him Hubbard for Tyson, but I said I'm in for the IDP show. Oh, okay, yeah. So get a hold of Martin, and I know he was talking about that today. He wants to get you in over there because Mike has guested over there. I've done a guest spot over there, so he definitely wants to get you over there as well too. And you're like the one that Mike does IDP, but out of us, you're more the IDP guy than me. So, let's see. And yeah, you did fleece me with that Tyson Hubbard trade. I did offer it to you for the record, so I fleeced myself. But I was, again, high risk, high reward. They don't always pan out, but that's what I like to do: get a guy off the waiver, trade him for potential season long guy. It's just bad, bad timing on that one. He was like inactive the very next day or something, so it happens. I just pretended like he tore his ACL in practice and move on. Any chance I can get this? Oh yeah, we talked about that one already. There's where we were. So definitely. Let's see. Let's go here. I'm guessing you touched on Antonio Gibson and his current injury. How concerned are you with this, and what would it look to get for him in a trade from a general view? Yeah, we talked about Gibson earlier. Obviously, there's a concern with that injury. Personally, I would hope they would just sit him for a while, just so he can get healthy. Because I do like the back half of their schedule. To me, again, if they can just get him back healthy and give him the ball, I think it can happen. Obviously, I think Fitz coming back is definitely going to help moving forward. If if you want to go ahead and trade him and explore your options, you definitely can. Again, he's kind of hurt right now, so I'm not sure what value it would have. It'd have to be someone like me who's just crazy about Gibson and willing to give him a chance. And just because I'm kind of feeding off that preseason, projections that I had for him. Again, I'm not giving up anything super crazy for him. But let me think about that more. It's kind of tough, not knowing what the other teams are and things like that. And what your team is on that team. I know your other team, I think, or if this is that same team. But again, I would definitely shop him. See if anyone is interested, or if anyone had sent you, offers for him in the past, trying to buy him. Maybe go back to that drawing board and see what you could drum up. So we have what's up, Gigi's Mob Squad in the house. He's the one. Him and Dustin actually just pulled off that trade in my home league. this is in the keeper league. So he's saying he's rolling the dice on CMC, and let's do it. Um, dude, that's you did it, man. You were the me of last year. I grabbed CMC in both leagues when he went down like that. Last year, it didn't work out for me. I hope it works out for you. Um, again, these are the chances you have to be willing to take. Like I said, it's either to me it's first or last. Again, I know you pay out second and third places, but to me, I'm doing whatever I can to roll the dice to have a monster team heading into the playoffs. So that's what it is, man. And yeah, so he said I just told Ann about our trade and they talked me into it. So yeah, Gigi, he asked the question here. People were saying, yeah, go ahead and do it. Some people were split, depending on who else he had on running backs and things like that. But ultimately, I guess we said the right thing to have him hit that accept button. A trade that was happened on air on the stream, so that was involving CMC on a buy sell trade show. So that was pretty awesome. So again, the trade for those of you guys who don't know, CMC and Chuba Hubbard for Devontae Adams and Jalen Waddle. So nice trade. It is a non PPR, so it was definitely a good trade. I like it for both sides. Hope it works out for you guys. I'm just sucks that I was on the channel here and couldn't get in any of that. Um, no, Gigi and I have been going back and forth, man. We're just at different spots, different values. We've gotten a couple trades done this year, but he keeps wanting Aaron Jones, man. I can't do it. Aaron Jones and Kelsey are just untouchable for me right now. So Sean says the only way Gibson gets better is if he gets rest or gets surgery. And yeah, with that fracture on a shin, I think I texted Dustin earlier and said, take the heel of your shoe and kick yourself in the shin with it really quick. Not even that hard. Just do it and see how bad that hurts. And then just imagine now 350-pound guys tackling you 20 plus times a game and keep banging and hitting that. And, how would that feel? So I'm surprised he even got through one game, dealing with that. Obviously, he couldn't take it, at the end of last game. And to me, that's what you're risking by starting him, is knowing there's a chance he may not finish the game. So obviously, that's the chance with everybody that we start. But his percentages of not finishing the game are a lot higher than someone going into the game healthy. So Haas is giving us the fire here. Gigi saying, hopefully we face off in the playoffs for finals. I hope he's talking to me and not Dustin. So yes. And Dustin said yes and get Jarrett Patterson in regards to the Gibson issue. Just to back him up. He'll get that second down work. McKissick's role should probably increase a bit as well. So we'll see. Gigi saying, I'm down. Oh, wait. He said, hopefully the ship and we can work a split or something. That's collusion. There's no splitting anything. You play it out. No, I'm just kidding. You guys can chop if you want. He said, I'm down. So they're working all that out. We'll see how it goes, man. You guys got to go through me first. That's all I got to say. Oh, you guys are loving each other right now after that trade. I love the post-trade honeymoon period. Everybody feels good. You got a new team. Get the roster baiting going on. And it's a lot of fun. Dustin saying I was just diversifying his portfolio. Have a lot of shares of CMC, so he's just trying to diversify a little bit there. So keep some, trade some away, so then you're not all eggs in one basket with all your leagues. So I think Dustin's in like 14 plus leagues. I don't know how you do it, but I found something today. So just don't let me don't let me forget to tell you about how to help you set your lineups in all your leagues. I got a little thing for you. They're not paying us for it yet on a sponsorship, so I don't want to say it on here yet. All right. So are you concerned with Kamara going forward? Yeah. I mean, he has that potential. We'll see what changes and adjustments they make coming out of this bye week. So I'm very interested in watching this game. Can't wait, to watch all the snaps there and see, what changes, New Orleans was able to implement over the break. So we'll see what happens. I'm definitely looking forward to it. To me, he's still one of those high-end guys. He's not like he's fallen out of the, top 10 or anything like that. I still probably have him, RB 5 or 6. Maybe I can think 5 or 6 running backs that I would, have over him right now. hurt or not. Um, so yeah, I mean, there's definitely a level of concern, but again, with the back landscape, I still think he's a plug and play every week and just live with that result. Again, if you want to try to trade him off for somebody that you can, again, a CMC, somebody like that. If you feel like they can do better in a better situation, by all means try. Maybe a Derrick Henry. If you can add Kamara with something else and try to get Henry, maybe do that. I doubt it. No way you're getting off buying somebody even high coming off a 3 touchdown game. So stick with Kamara. He'll be fine. Hopefully. So yeah, definitely you guys are colluding. It's definitely collusion. I don't like it at all. All right. All right, man. Well, it's 12:30 now, man. I gotta get going. I appreciate all you guys for joining in. Um, yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. Next Friday, or not next Friday, but on Friday, we'll be doing our start sit show. Um, so bring your questions there. We'll have our final injury reports. It'll be Mike and I. We go for a long time. We're going to break down all the games. We'll talk about all the fantasy relevant players from each game by game. Obviously, taking your questions and stuff in between. So until then, again, just make sure you visit our website, getrightff.com, so you can find our rankings if you need, how we think about somebody or who we rank higher or who we start this week. It is on there. If you're not sure, you see something that's not, there, feel free to come to us and ask us. Let me know at Get Right Fantasy on Twitter or at Rastafarian on Sleeper. Again, all of our contact info is down in the description, so check it out there. Again, if you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe. We appreciate it. Oh, we have Mano in here. He said, "Hey, dude, can we ask questions?" Absolutely, man. We just been taking questions, doing Q&A for the last 2 hours and 12 minutes. I was just about to shut the show down, but since you're here, I'm going to get to your question because this is what we do here at Get Right Fantasy. We're here for the people. It's not about me. It's about you. Just do me one favor, hit that subscribe button. It helps all of us, including you, because we're going to get to your question right now. AJ Brown for Woods and Connor. Um, I don't know which side of this you're on. I would prefer to have the AJ Brown side. I talked about earlier in the episode. I'm not that big of a Connor guy at this point, although he is, producing. I would say he's a viable wide RB 3. But give me the upside that AJ Brown could potentially have here in the second half of the year. Obviously, Cup and Stafford have their thing going on. I still like Bobby Trees, but for the most part, I'd rather have AJ Brown, and I think there's several other Connors that you can get. Again, week to week with injuries and things happening. To me, he's easily replaceable. That tier level of a guy, whereas AJ Brown is towards that elite side, and I'd rather have that upside week to week that he brings, especially with Julio not being able to stay healthy. He should be getting more 9 target, 10+ target games once he gets himself healthy. So again, he was coming off that food poisoning, still got 9 targets. I think he had 91 yards or something like that. So stick with AJ Brown or go get AJ Brown, whichever side that is. So hope that helps, man. Hope that really helped you. And yeah, so again, hit that subscribe button for us if you appreciate it. And oh, there we go. He does. I appreciate it. Yeah, there it is. So hope that helps. Again, it could go either way. But with what we know now, I definitely feel more comfortable with that AJ Brown side. He's set it and forget it. Live with the results, and you demand. So I don't think there's a better way, to end it. We got everybody here saying later. Thanks from Haas. Jason here saying thanks. He appreciates it. I already know you're posting stuff on the Sleeper channel, so we'll definitely, I'm sure, have more conversations there. Sean saying thanks for staying up and answering these questions. Absolutely. This is what we do, man. We love talking to the people, finding out about what's going on in other leagues. Helping make decisions. Helps us make our decisions here. On our side, just having a place to be able to talk it out. So again, for all of you guys here that have stuck with me. Really appreciate it. For Mike, for Dustin, for Frank, the other guys here in Get Right, part of the channel that couldn't join me today. Again, Mike and I will be back on Friday at 9:30. Mike will also be here 8 a.m. Sunday morning, our time, about 2 hours prior to kickoff. We do an hour and a half. We go over the actives and inactives and get in your last minute start sit questions once we know the full injury and spectrum of the league. So um, I come from a Filipino family, so we take like 30 minutes to say goodbye. So otherwise, I hate leaving you guys, man. I wish I could just talk here all night and just do this all day, all night. But we do have to end it. So if you're already at home, cool. You can stay there. You don't have to go, but we got to shut the Get Right stream down now. So again, for all of us here at Get Right, we really appreciate it. Thank you for all the support. Tell people about us, man. We're trying to grow the channel. Help us get to 300. We'll be doing another giveaway at 300. And other than that, all I can say is good luck to you. Get those offers out there. Make sure you're doing the right stuff. And good luck to everybody. And we'll see you Friday. I should have timed that a little better, but I'm out.